What's up guys, Bloodshed here. This is going to be the first Lost Ark video in a series of a lot of videos. The game comes out in just over a month, so I hope you're having a kick-ass 2022. Mine started out a little under the weather, but I'm sure we'll be okay. I've been streaming this game around 300 hours and I get tons of questions on stream. So hopefully this intro video will give you guys a brief overview. It's meant to be just to dip your toe into everything that this game has to offer, because it is a massive game and there's a lot to talk about. So I'll be kind of pokey rap, bullet pointing these things off for you guys, but still elaborating where I think it needs to be elaborate. We're gonna answer the question what is Lost Ark, and is it pay to win, and all these things. So let's go ahead and get right into the video. So Lost Ark is an MMO. I know it might look like an isometric Diablo style type game, and there are some elements that do speak to that, but at the core and what it is, if you took away the isometric camera angle, the top down almost angle, nobody would compare this really, in my opinion, to Diablo or Path of Exile, just because of what you do in the combat and everything like that. It's closer to a isometric BDO, Black Desert Online, if you're familiar with the series. It's an MMO with an insane amount of content and things to do. So there's lots of activities. We're gonna get into all that, briefly soon. There's no box price of the game. There's no monthly fee for the game. No energy mechanic, okay? It's a Korean MMO, so a lot of people might be like, yo, is this gonna die out? Is this just a fad? And in my opinion, the game's already proven, right? The game's already been out 3 years in Korea, and it's successful. It's a proven game. It's only been getting better since release. With each patch, they've learned from their mistakes and made the game even better and better and better. The game director just had their version of BlizzCon recently, and they say they want to get us to tier 3, us as in the North American / EU audience. They want to get us the top tier content as soon as possible, the hard mode raids as soon as possible, right? So it's only getting better. Things are only looking up for Lost Ark. So the release date is going to be February 11th. You can pay for early access. You get in 3 days earlier. That'd be February 8th. There's going to be 15 classes at launch. So the way they're broken down is they have archetypes, right? So assassin, mages, gunners, martial artists, and then warriors, right? So there's over 20 classes in the game, even more coming. They just showed off some fancy new support and other classes like that. But let's just focus on what we're getting here, right? So warrior, you can be a berserker, like a barb, right? Paladin, we're all familiar with that. The supports in this game, by the way, are pretty badass, right? They actually do a lot of damage in addition to just supporting. They're not really called healers. There are no healers in the game. The bard does have a heal spell, but it's more they do damage and they support their team. There is a traditional, the best comp in the game is the Holy Trinity, right? Your tank, which is your gun lancer, right? He's the big bulk. He can basically take almost every affix in the game and not die. He's the beast, right? He's your tank. And then paladin, right, would be a support. So this is a traditional healer and a support. And then here's DPS. So the best comp has a support in every group and probably a main tank, but you can complete all the content, or at least really far in the game, with all 3 DPS, because again, they're not traditional Holy Trinity. So I like this direction of the game because it gives you a familiar footing, people understand the Holy Trinity, but you're not locked into it completely. For the martial artists, you can go with the striker, the war dancer, the scrapper, or the soul fist. If you like Dragon Ball Z, go for the soul fist. There's a Kamehameha and a spirit bomb, and there's some incredible visuals across the board. You can go on the website and see videos on all the classes, but you can see exactly what I'm saying is all the classes are snappy, responsive, incredible combat, visuals. Let me just play it for you guys so you can maybe hear. The spells have weight to them. Every class has an awakening ability, an ultimate, which is incredible. It's just really, really fun to play, right? And they're all so different. They complement each other nicely. And then you have your gunner classes, the gunslinger, which has the most abilities and probably the highest skill cap in the game because you have 3 skill bars to stance in between. Artillerist, which is my favorite currently. You have this big Monster Hunter style gun. Deadeye, super cool class, and Sharpshooter, which is like your Hanzo. For mages, you're gonna get the Bard, which is the other support that we're getting. The Paladin and the Bard are the two support. If you want groups, go for them. But there is a cool looking for raid system, like LFR auto group system in the game. It puts you in with people. Like, you know, you can obviously queue up with your friends, but there is a great queue system. I got in no problem playing on the Russia server. The Sorceress, again, super flashy, incredibly looking attacks. So you can see, I mean, meteors, explosions. You have like this like wave of force power. Let's see what else they got. Yeah, there's like this gravitational wall that pulls them up and slams them down. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, Sork is your only like pure mage kind of caster, I'd say, that we're getting. And then for Assassin, you have the Shadowhunter and the Deathblade. I love me some Shadowhunter and Deathblade. This is like your Caitlyn, like you go in, you do this like big spinny Deathblade attack, and then your Shadowhunter is an assassin, but it's more like a mid-range poke in PvP, and then you go in for the kill, like once you get an opening. So they're both really cool, and they both like are thematic. Like she turns into a demon, which is insane, and she has like a demonic arm and everything like that. And then the blade is more like your traditional kind of you know, assassin type character. So both really cool. Played them both on stream, and you'll probably see footage maybe at some point. I want to put this on screen because it's important, okay? So the Russian, and I believe maybe even Korea, have different names for the builds that we're getting in North America. So Devil Hunter is Deadeye, Hawkeye is Sharpshooter, Demonic is Shadowhunter, Infighter Scrapper, Blaster Artillerist, Warlord Gunlancer, Holy Knight Paladin, Blade Deathblade, Battlemaster War Dancer, Soul Fist, or Soul Master, and then Soul Fist. And then Sorceress is Sorceress on both regions. So this is a good reference. If you hear somebody mention one thing, I think streamers or content creators, sometimes even I get confused. I'm like, wait, this is the Blaster. Like I call this guy Blaster, but he's an artillerist in NA. So this might clear up some confusion. I don't know. I thought I'd put it in the video. So what you're getting here with Lost Ark is a proven MMO that works, that's successful, that's polished. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of things to do in Lost Ark. So I'm gonna briefly go over everything. I might do an in-depth video if you guys want that in the future for endgame, or a deep dive on each activity, but we're just gonna touch on everything here, okay? So there's an affinity system that's gonna be in the game. You can build up your rep with tons of NPCs in the world, and they give you all kinds of things. Let me click on one just to show you. You can get currency, you can get like cards, which are gonna help build your character out. There, you can get things for like your hideout, or there's player housing in the game. You can get like a permanent boost, increases primary stat. You can't see it because it's cut off. This increases your primary stat by 25 units for int, strength, and dex. So all main stat, you get a buff for it. So you can actually build your whole character out by just leveling up the affinity, right? This is just one part of a greater scheme of things. Like not all your power comes from gear. And that's why I don't even consider this in a Diablo-like ARPG, right? In Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, like this is what defines your character, man. You get those core items in the game, those legendary items, those unique items, that and probably, you know, your talents or your runes, right? That's gonna define your character. But in Lost Ark, you get power from achievements, from your affinity, from your character, your gear, obviously. There's like a Paragon type system, but like the Paragon system, it slows down a lot, and you can get that main stat in a lot of different activities. You can just keep playing alts, and then you get like Paragon. It's called Legacy, right? You get your Legacy rank. There's a lot of different ways, and I'll show you here in the video. But you can see like there's just one game system just from the affinity. Like you log in every day, you talk to your NPCs that you want to build rep with. Some of them might have different rewards that you want to go for, right? So you might not want these rewards, whatever, and you might want to focus on this dude, right? Because now he has these glyphs, and these glyphs is a way to customize your character. Think of glyphs like a Kanai Cube in Diablo 3, where they're like kind of like legendary powers that you can put on your character. Here's like the Kanai Cube powers that I was talking about earlier. You kind of get those books, and when you get to a certain number of books, you can drag them here and get some points for it. and then they're called engravings. And then as you get more and more points in it, you get stronger and stronger versions of it. And then all the jewelry has engraving effects. So it's like almost like legendary powers, right? So, and then the gear itself, you can level up. Most people level up their gear to 15. It's a pretty fun system, pretty straightforward. And there's class only engravings as well that are specific to your class, obviously. And some of them really change the whole dynamic of how you play. Like I think one of them, you can go perma-demon form full time. Kind of like in Diablo 3, you can go full Archon or full Wrath of Berserker full time. So some of them are really kind of game changing and have interesting trade-offs. So you'll be collecting these engravings to power up your character. There is like these cards, they work off each other and give you buffs. You'll be collecting card. It's like a full card system in here. And it's just cool to get power from so many different sources. So this is your stronghold or your island. You get like a full island to customize. I haven't done much crafting, but as you can see, you can move things around here and put them wherever you want. It's kind of interesting. You can even take your alts. Like this is like my alt right here. And then you can like kind of put your alts around and have them hang out in different things. Like, you know, you can see I have people in the chairs or the bed here. So you want to hide back here? You want to hide back here? You can. You know, you can rotate a little bit, and then there's like trophies for your hideout, kind of like New World has like those trophies. So this is giving me a buff right here. Let's just save it. Boom. And then people can get really creative with it, and of course you can have people over to your hideout or your it's called a stronghold, right? Your player housing. It's huge. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. You can make food, you can craft. This is the laboratory where you can research all kinds of things on the island, not just crafting, cooking recipes. You can power up your ship. Yes, there's like naval kind of ship quests and ship traveling. More stuff to think about every day just to keep you involved and engaged in the game. They also have a workshop where you can actually craft stuff like bombs, sleep bombs. You can make potions. You can make a lot of money crafting and selling things on the auction house. For better or for worse, they have the World of Warcraft mission table in your hideout, just as an optional thing. Looks like I got rank A from that last one. You get some pirate coins, which is another currency. Hunter orders, which is currency for more stuff, right? It's like there's so many things, but it's not convoluted. It sounds like probably confusing. I haven't even gotten to a lot of things yet, but once you in here and you kind of like tinker around, it makes sense. Like everything kind of goes and works and makes sense. As I ride to the next objective, there's mounts in the game if you haven't noticed already, and it's cool to help you get around. There are these things called chaos dungeons. They look like Diablo style rifts, and it shows you the rewards you get. And as you progress, you get better and better rewards throughout the different levels of content. It's tied to your main story mission. So like Final Fantasy XIV, you follow along your main story and unlock a lot of the game. So if you're playing this, focus on that main story. It's really important. So what you're seeing on screen right here is the Chaos Dungeon. This is gonna be part of your daily routine. You're gonna log in on your main character, and if you have any alts, you're gonna do it on that. So I'll let this play in the background so you guys can see the chaos that ensues. You have these Chaos Dungeons. You have to do at least 2 a day to get the bonus rewards. You can do as many as you want per day. There's really cool. You can get like a treasure goblin in them as well. You can get like keys in there to do other game modes, which is like a cube kind of tower thing. There's a tower, which is kind of like a greater rift system. You can do it 1 time per character. As you climb and climb and climb, you get more rewards. And it's really good. You know, you can get legacy, which is again your paragon. You can get engravings that we talked about. Lots of rewards. It's like you get everything is kind of sprinkled across a lot of different game modes, and it's really fun, right? So Chaos Dungeons, you have the tower. There's like a cube, a procedurally generated map thing. We have obviously dungeons, and then there's hard mode dungeons, and it's like, you know, not hardcore dungeons. There's raids, there's super hard raids, there's like hard modes of everything. Then we have world bosses, and then there's like another thing of world events. Remember I told you you can have a ship and sail around? There's like ghost ship daily that you can get. There's chaos gates, which are kind of like in Legion. Remember in Legion there was like this rift that would open up, and then everybody would go through it and then complete that. It's kind of like that. Like it's like a Legion style event, like a rift almost, I guess, but out in the open world for everybody to join. There's adventure islands. There's all kinds of stuff to do. And even if it's like you can't do it all every day, it's just fun to always like, okay, how am I going to spend my day today? What are we doing? What's the game plan? You know, obviously you have dailies, you have weeklies, you have guild quests, you have guild rep, you can level up your guild, you get like ranks and stuff like that within your guild and rewards for that, for playing together. This right here on the screen is Monster Hunter style Guardian raids. They're called Guardian raids. They're like Monster Hunter style bosses. There's normal versions and hard versions of it. You can get auto grouped with people or play with your friends or solo it if you're a badass, right? So this is the first one. So this one I can solo because it's like the first tier one, just to kind of show the gameplay, what it looks like. Okay, well I zoomed out too far, okay? But yeah, they're like cool, like Monster Hunter style fights. It's pretty awesome, man. There's like a stagger mechanic, and then you guys can get in there and DPS. And a lot of the Lost Ark content, especially the group content, is a little punishing, which is nice, you know? You only have so many deaths in certain dungeons, and I think in some instances, one death and you fail, right? It gets pretty intense at the highest level, but I wouldn't fear, because there's tons of like horizontal content, right? There's the top tier Naxxramas, where only so many of the player base gets to use it. But then under that is like a whole bunch of things to do. And you don't have to even have groups for it. Like you can see me soloing it, getting that progress. If you're a solo player, a group player, you want that high level, that low level content, insane amounts to me, insane amounts of PvE stuff. And now on screen, you have the PvP. So ranked PvP is like loadouts that you make, custom loadouts. Gear doesn't matter in the ranked version of the PvP. And as far as I know, you can't group for it. It's group PvP that you solo queue for. Oh man, it's amazing, dude. Like, it's so much fun. It does remind me of WoW Classic, only in the regard that you get CC'd out of your mind, bro. It's so frustrating. But you CC people and you blow them up out of their mind. It's very like you punish people for getting caught out of position. That's one thing I didn't like in other games, where like you can just kind of make a mistake and not get punished for it. You get punished, right? It's fun because it's like you get to do damage and then you get blown up. So it's like it's very high highs and like it's not low lows, but it's like, oh damn, I'm dead. Oh, I did something cool. It's really fun, and this is one of my favorite modes in the whole game. As I'm a big PvP player, I can see myself playing this forever, literally. So yeah, gear doesn't matter. It's just all skill. They give you a preset loadout. It's a good way to test all your end game abilities. They even have like target dummies and everything like that. Now there is world PvP. Of course, there's everything in this game. There's world PvP that you can do. There's like special islands that it's just free for all, where your gear does matter. So that's kind of cool. Kind of like an Iron Banner / world PvP, free for all zones. And then obviously there's like quests and gathering and things like that. Also there is guild versus guild PvP. They just had their BlizzCon like we talked about, and they're adding like inside, like there's like a BR looking thing. There's like a MOBA mode for PvP. There's like so much coming to Lost Ark in the future. It's incredible. I don't know how they have time to do this, or I don't know what their budget is for this game. Honestly, this video is way too long. I have to cut myself off. There's so much stuff to talk about and to get into. Check it out. Even if you just like, I think in Guild Wars, you used to like 100% the zone and get a bonus. Even if you just like 100%ing the zones, right? You do the world bosses, you do the dungeons, you do the quests, you're getting permanent main stat on all your account. Your whole account gets juiced up, right? This is what this is. Increase the character's primary stat by 5 units for all of them. And then if you get like a bunch of battle items, rewards, cards that we talked about, special things for your hideout, and you can do this with everyone. You even get like mounts in some of the zones. Like I think in Burn, you get the wolf, is where I got the wolf from, or the raptor. So you get a raptor mount by just playing the game, right? So you can just go through, and if you just like leveling alts and collecting, there's tons of stuff to collect. All right, so now for the potentially only negative thing for the whole video. Right? Is this game pay to win? All right, let me just cover some stuff. I have some notes here, okay? You have to decide this for yourself. That's my first note, right? Because everybody is more sensitive or not sensitive to these kind of things, right? You just saw all the content that you get in the game. I just want to say I'm 100% fine with it. I think the devs need to be compensated for all this hard work, seeing as how the game has no box price, no monthly subscription. I've only ever played free-to-play. I have a free-to-play account, right? There's no energy mechanic to stop you from just getting everything in the game. All these cool, fancy transmogs people can put on the auction house, And then if you grind a lot, you can buy them, right? So you can even buy MTX with your in-game gold, kind of like Black Desert Online, right? There's no PvE ranking currently in the game. I think it's tracked outside the game in certain websites, but like there's no ranking. There's nothing to win is what I'm getting at. And like, if you saw this screen right here before, you know, it's a pay to progress system, and I'm okay with it. So if I don't spend any money on the game, I might be around the 380 item level and someone might be at the 420 Bluddshed item level. I might be like a week or so behind, maybe 2 weeks behind, but again, like they're just cheapening their own experience, so to speak, right? Because you're gonna get there, because things are gated per day, per week. Yeah, and if you're grinding, you're gonna catch them anyway. There's a lot of things you can kind of pay for convenience. Like, you know, we don't even actually know the exact model, I don't think, that we're gonna have on North America and EU, because, you know, a lot of times different regions have different payment models. Remember, ranked PvP is normalized, so you can't pay for PvP, that's all skill. So I guess you could buy gear and stuff like that with the gold, but again, you have to level up all the gold. Let's go level it up. You not only have to level up the gear, you can't even buy the best gear in the game. Kind of like in World of Warcraft, you can buy like a Kroll Blade or something, a auction house item, but the raid drops you can't buy, right? It's like the best items in the game you can't even buy. But like, for instance, I leveled this up 14 times, these 13, 14, so you hit it with the treatment. These are things that you earn in the game, like so. And then upgrade it any minute now and get the result. So the strat is, so you can see I get like a bunch of survivability and damage. And this is just one way to power up my character, right? Is by doing these kind of level upgrades. You want to get everything to plus 15, and then that'll get you to the next tier of content basically. But you can go past that. I think 20 is the max. Based on my time with the game, it just seems like you're gonna have to put what you get in, you get out. If you have only a few hours a day to play, you get some cool progress, because you only have to do so many dailies and weeklies and all that. But if you want to put a lot of time in the game and get alts and do this on all your alts and everything, then it's there for you. I think it scales perfectly. Is it pay to win? You got to answer that for yourself. It's definitely pay to progress, but I don't think it matters, because again, there's nothing to win for me that I can see. We're not winning no esports contract. So I have a website with tons of Diablo content, right? Diablo section for every class. I'm going to make a Lost Ark section. It's bloodshed.com. The link's in the description. If you want to support the video, if you like what we did here, don't forget to like the video. That does help the YouTube algorithm. And check out the website, right? I'm going to put starter builds, leveling builds. We've been practicing a lot, trying to focus on all the systems of the game, and I'm going to put my content on here. So you can always be caught up, because I might be posting lots of different YouTube videos, but it'll be organized on the website for you guys to find, just like we have it here, you know, in Diablo 3, right? The drop down menus for starter guides. It'll be similar kind of layout for you guys, right? People have been asking for content. This should be up before the game goes live, like 99.9% chance, if I can kick this sickness, you know? Also, we might do a big Q&A video based on what happens with this video. If I get tons and tons of questions, I might just do like a Q&A video. And again, I'm gonna do a lot of individual videos for a lot of different things, just going over the different mechanics more in depth. That's gonna be all for me today. This is Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.